Okay, so I told y'all this was coming, and I don't want to be sitting here having this conversation or talking about this, but it's time to accept the reality. And the reality is there is a big franchise-changing decision coming. And, we can accept it, we can deny it, we can play these games like it's not a big deal or whatever happens, happens. The reality is this decision will affect the Browns for a long, long time. And, I understand that not everybody watches full videos and stuff like that. So let me clarify what I mean here for y'all who won't stick through to the end. When I say I'm not paying Baker Mayfield, what I mean is I'm not paying him right now. And the reality is the Browns, if they want to, have 2 more years of Baker before they have to completely make a decision. They have the 5th-year option, which either he's playing on this year or it's next year. I want to say this year. I could be wrong. But then they also have the option of franchise tag. And before we get into what exactly I would do, let me put it to you like this. I have been defending Baker before he was in the NFL. I have been a fan of Baker before he was in the NFL. I have watched him. I know he's a talented quarterback, and I will say this. If you're of the opinion that Baker Mayfield is not an NFL quarterback, you're an idiot. And you don't know what you're talking about. Regardless of what the Browns do, if you think that Baker Mayfield can't play in this league, you are an idiot. And that is the nicest way of saying it. Now, the reason why we're having this discussion is because we have seen this for a long time now. We've seen it with Jameis Winston. We've seen it with Jared Goff. We've seen it with Carson Wentz and more. And not exactly Jameis Winston as if he got paid necessarily or he had a big contract, but moving on from guys is what I'm talking about here. And the Browns have a decision to make. Are you going to make Baker Mayfield your franchise quarterback? Are you willing at this point to sit down and say, you are our guy? We believe in you. We know you're our guy. We are going to pay you for the next 5-6 years, whatever, as our guy. And we are going to completely structure this franchise around you. At this point, I am not doing it. And I've sat here and I've defended Baker time after time after time. I'm not doing it anymore. I can't, I won't, and I'm not going to anymore. I am done defending Baker Mayfield. Because at this point, and I will say this, I still believe he is a good quarterback. I still believe that he can be a great quarterback. I still believe that he's got the talent it takes to be a great quarterback in the NFL. He is a franchise quarterback. But this is where my problem is. 2018, the Browns took Baker Mayfield number 1 overall. I said the Browns should have taken Baker number 1 overall. I'm not saying that because I happen to be right. I'm saying that because at the time, given the options, Baker was the best option. And if it was 2018 and I had the pick, I still would have taken Baker Mayfield. Obviously, if you go back and you look at it now, should the Browns have taken Josh Allen? Sure. People will argue for Lamar Jackson. I would still take Josh Allen if you gave me the option right now. Now, would Josh Allen have survived the list of things that Baker's had to go through here in Cleveland? I don't think so, because the one thing that people don't talk about, Josh Allen had Sean McDermott. I don't think he had him his first year, but definitely his second year. And their offensive coordinator, Brian Daboll, he's had this structure. Baker's not had this structure, and this is my biggest problem. This is year 2 of one of the best offensive lines, same system, same coaching staff. What is going on? I am so sick and tired of this because every year of Baker's career, we've had to have this discussion. Offensive line, coaching, lack of receivers. We've had to have all of these conversations. And at the end of the day, we're sitting here in year 4. I think it's, week 6? The Browns are playing tomorrow night, and we're still having the same discussions. I am sick and tired of this roller coaster that is Baker Mayfield. I don't need you to be a top 10 quarterback. Right now, Baker is sitting probably at 17, 18, something like that as far as quarterbacks in the NFL. I thought this was the year that he was going to become a top 10 quarterback, maybe even creeping towards top 5, 6 or 7, somewhere in there. He has that talent. I think he still does. But here's the problem. And I can tell you this right now. The organization does not believe in Baker Mayfield. Kevin Stefanski does not believe in Baker Mayfield. If they did, they wouldn't run the ball on 3rd and 10 when you need to go down and score. Okay? That's the end of story here. This organization has sucked when it comes to picking quarterbacks for a long time. We've all seen the jersey with the list of guys from Tim Couch, through Johnny Manziel, through Brandon Weeden, through all of these guys, Cody Kessler, and this is the risk here. This is what people talk about. If you move on from Baker, are you willing to risk that? Here's what I will say. It's a different time in the NFL right now. It's a lot easier, in my opinion, and you don't have to agree with me. I'm never asking anybody to agree with me. I'm just telling you my opinion. It's easier now to get a guy as far as a starting quarterback than it was then. The game has changed. Everybody, you look at the quarterbacks right now, half of them are mobile. That wasn't the case, way back when, 5 years ago. It's changing, and it's going to continue to change. The Browns run an archaic offense right now. This offense that we're running, I've said it for how many weeks now? It has to evolve. The passing game sucks. There's a reason why guys aren't getting open. And sure, we may not have the best receivers when it comes to route running or speed or whatever, but there's no excuse for this. This offense has not been nearly what it can be. And it makes me so upset because Kevin Stefanski sucks when it comes to play calling. You can't run the ball 90% of the time, and I'm not saying that's what he does. I'm exaggerating here. But you can't constantly run the football and expect things to be, they're constantly trying to run out of play action systems, right? My thing is, first of all, Alex Van Pelt should be calling plays. Kevin Stefanski, give it up. You suck at play calling. I'm sorry. You were offensive play caller in Minnesota. The Browns hired you because of that. You suck at it. Alex Van Pelt is a much better play caller. Give him the play calling duties because you shouldn't have it. And second of all, as far as what I would do, listen, I don't think the Browns even have found out if Baker is capable recently. And that's the problem here. I said the roller coaster of Baker Mayfield. One game, he sucks. The next game, he's great. The next game after that, he's all right, and then he sucks, and then he's great. And then he's all right, and then he sucks, and he's great. It's the same thing over and over. And Baker Mayfield has become more of a nostalgia act than he has a good professional starting quarterback. We constantly talk about his rookie year. We constantly talk about that Thursday night against the Jets. This question of what have you done for me lately? Oh, well, Baker led the Browns to the playoffs. Yes, Baker has overcome some incredible things that not many quarterbacks couldn't. And that's not to say that he's not tough and he's not gritty, because he is. But when it comes to the fact that you were the number 1 overall pick and the fact that you've been here now for 4 years, and for 4 years it's been the same thing. And the last season and this season so far has been the same thing. Ups and downs. You've been mediocre. You've been good. Then you've been bad. I understand. And this injury, I think, could be the end of Baker Mayfield, because Sunday against the Cardinals, he fully tore it. It's torn. It's going to require surgery. And yes, it's in his left shoulder, not his right shoulder, and that's great for him, great for his career, wherever it goes from here. But the situation we're in now, Case Keenum is starting tomorrow night. If you watch this after that game, you'll have the answer. But if Case Keenum comes out and he can consistently run this offense and hit guys when they're open and, things just run smoothly, they're not going to put Baker back in, okay? I hate to break it to you, but Case Keenum is going to be starting for a number of games. I don't know if that's the entire season. I don't know if it's just 2-3 games. But if Case Keenum comes out and he runs the offense and it looks efficient with the guys that are out, they are not going to force Baker back in. They might force him to have the surgery, honestly. And that would take him out for the rest of the season. But when you look at right now, you look at the Rams and you look at the fact that they were willing to do whatever it takes to get rid of Jared Goff and bring in a guy who they believed could get the job done because they knew they had the talent. The Browns are in a similar situation, and I don't know. Do we have Jared Goff? Do we have Jimmy Garoppolo? Do we have a Kirk Cousins? That's the question I want to know, because at this point, if you asked me that question at the beginning of the year, I would have said no. That's ridiculous. He's way more talented. He's a lot better. And I think he is, but he's not performing like it, and that is the problem. It's not about what you can do. It's about what you actually do. And at the end of the day, when it comes down to decision time, Andrew Berry is not an idiot. Andrew Berry has gone out and he knows when he needs to be aggressive to move up to get guys like JOK. He knows he's got an eye for talent, and a lot of these guys have been injured, yes, but at the end of the day, they've been pretty good. And Andrew Berry is not going to ruin what he's built because of Baker Mayfield, okay? Everything that they've done over the last 4 years has been because of Baker. The coaches, fixing the offensive line, and you can say they do that for anybody, yes, but they have specifically gone out and gotten guys. Kevin Stefanski was brought in because they believed that his offense was going to fix Baker and put Baker in the best position to succeed, and it has not happened. It has done wonders for Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Great. But going out and signing Austin Hooper, going out and bringing guys in to help, and they've not, is a problem. And I am not. If you ask me what I would do right now, you said, okay, you're saying all these things, what would you do? You have the fifth-year option, right? And again, I think that's next year, but regardless. You had the fifth-year option and you have a franchise tag. I would feel a lot better franchise tagging Baker Mayfield than I would paying him. And another thing that you got to factor in here, the cap number is going to go through the roof here shortly. So the number that the Browns give him won't be as bad, or assuming they do. Let's just say, hypothetically, the Browns pay him whatever. It's not going to be as bad in a couple years as it will look when it happens, right? That's the facts. But when it comes to what that will do, if you commit to Baker, you're putting yourself in a position to where what if you have a Jared Goff? What if you have a Carson Wentz? And I have not seen anything recently that would tell me that I need to pay you. And I know playoffs, I know he had a great rookie year, I know all this stuff. And another thing, it is hard to be a decent starting quarterback in the NFL, okay? That needs to be factored in here. But Baker is not even playing decent right now. And the injury, sure. But when you look at the guys that he has faced, he's been in positions to where he should take over the game and go win it. And sure, against the Chiefs, that pick at the end, I still don't think it's his fault. He got hit from behind, and he was trying to throw it out of bounds, whatever. I don't put that on him. But there has been plenty of opportunities where you can take over the game and you can be the number one overall pick. You can be the difference maker that the Browns drafted you to be, and you haven't. You not only have you let the Browns down, but multiple times. And I've not seen that capability from you to change that around. I've not seen it. So when you look at right now where the Browns are at, you are 3-3. If I had to give a prediction, I think the Broncos win tomorrow night. Could be wrong. I don't know. But you're 3-3. your shoulder injury is not going to heal itself. It's not like having you out for a period of time is going to help. Either you play through it or you're out for the year. That's the situation we're in. So long term, however this season goes, I don't see Baker getting paid this offseason. And I listened to PFF. They were talking about this. They said that Baker shutting it down might be the best thing for him, because if he does that, then the Browns at the end of the year can come to him and say, hey, what about a 32? And he might be in a position to where he has to sign that because it might be the best thing for him. But another thing they talked about is, what if the Browns went out and they brought in somebody like a Jalen Hurts, who has 2 years left on his rookie contract? The Browns can continue to keep this roster around him, see if he is capable of being a good starting quarterback in the NFL, and then you have time to look for a new guy. I could see that happening. I really could, because right now, if you look at the options, the free agency list of quarterbacks, not good. If you said, would you rather have Baker or Teddy Bridgewater? I'd rather have Baker. If you said, any of these older guys, I think Ben is Ben's going to retire, whatever. So let's not even talk about him. But somebody older like a Ben, no, I'd rather have Baker. When you look at the draft class for quarterbacks this year, there are two that I would want, or would be fine with, I guess is the right way of saying that. And that's one, Malik Willis out of Liberty. And I think he needs to develop as a passer, in my opinion. I think I need to see some improvement there. And a lot of this stuff we're going to find out in the combine, right? And the other one is Matt Corral. And I can tell you right now, if you told me right now, Baker Mayfield or Matt Corral, I don't care how hot of a take this is, I'm not taking Baker Mayfield. I would rather go with a guy who I've seen improvements from. I like what he can do. I think he would thrive in this offense, have 4 to 5 years of a rookie contract, can maintain this team around him, and continue to build. I would rather do that. I would rather risk that. I would rather risk adding a couple names to that jersey than I would paying Baker Mayfield a ridiculous amount of money to be mediocre. That's where I'm at right now. And again, I have defended him time after time after time. I am sick of it. I am sick of every week having to hear people talk about, oh, Baker was the number 1 overall pick. Oh, Baker. Listen, yes, he's faced Justin Herbert. He's faced Patrick Mahomes. He's faced Kyler Murray. And the talent gap, and this is the thing, people can bring up stats and stuff like that. How I really form my opinion on things is when I watch games and I just see how you operate, how comfortable are you, Baker, the talent gap between him and Kyler Murray, between him and Justin Herbert, I'm not even going to talk about Patrick Mahomes, but it's visible and it's clear. And I used to say, you know what, a couple years ago, would you rather have Dak Prescott or, Baker? I would say Baker. And no, it's not even close. I'm to the point where you say, would you rather have Derek Carr or Baker Mayfield? I don't know. And I know there's some people say, oh, Baker, of course. I haven't seen it. Show me. That's my biggest thing here. And this is why I say I wouldn't pay Baker, because I have not seen it to be confident in you long-term being consistent as my starting quarterback. To me, you're not worth it, okay? And this is the worst possible position that the Browns could be in right now, because you are either putting all your chips in the table for Baker Mayfield, who has the talent. He's got incredible arm strength. He's accurate, but he hasn't been consistent. He's been playing mediocre for whatever reason. Or you put all your chips in the table of Andrew Berry, knows what he's doing, and can go out and either find the next guy or bring in somebody who will do a good enough job, and then you can find the next guy. That's the two options here. I see no middle. I see no situation where all of a sudden things just get right. Baker will have this injury for the rest of the year if he ever plays again this season. The Browns' window is the next 2 years, 2 to 3 years. And if you pay Baker, that's it. Either he's the guy and you're going to have continued success, or he's not and you're rebuilding. So the options are right now, do that with Baker, or you can bet on yourself. Andrew Berry, bet on you, and believe that you can keep this team together and go find the next guy. I want nothing more than Baker Mayfield all of a sudden, whenever he plays again, to turn it around and be the guy I think and I thought I knew he could be. That's what I want. I don't want to have to go through this process and have to watch quarterbacks and watch their pro days and their combines. I hate doing that when it's my team. I love doing it when it's somebody else. I can sit here and talk about, is Zach Wilson going to be as great as people think he is? Trey Lance, all these guys. I like doing that. I love the draft. I love the combine. I love watching these college kids come out and seeing if I think they're going to be good or not. I hate it when it's my team because this puts your franchise in a weird spot because the Rams were the team, and I already talked about this, but I'm going to repeat it again. The Rams knew that they messed up paying Jared Goff. And they realized how desperate they were to get off of him and bring in somebody that could do the job because they realized what they have. The Browns are going to be in a similar situation. If they pay Baker and he turns out to be, ups and downs and not consistent and never reaches his full potential, they're in the same spot. And we're screwed because it's not easy to just go out and get a Matthew Stafford. It's not that easy. And even at that, you got to give up a ton to do so. And the Browns just don't need to do that. You can't really afford to do that. So I hate the fact that we have to have this discussion because in 2018, I thought Cleveland finally found their guy. I thought it, and I still think, the what ifs. What if Baker goes to a different team? Let's just say hypothetically he goes to like a Denver, a team that's got weapons. They have some promise. I think he can be a really good starting quarterback in the NFL. Again, I think he's a franchise quarterback. But that's not the point here. It's not the what ifs. It's what have you done? And has he done enough at this point to prove that he should get paid? And it's probably he's not getting $40 million. He's not. I said before the season that I thought he was going to push his price tag up. He's done the opposite. And I couldn't be more disappointed to have to say that. But at this point, it's a weird spot to be in, and we're at the crossroads. We are coming to the crossroads of what is this franchise going to be for the next decade. And, you might say, what do you mean decade? Well, okay, if you pay Baker all this money and then you have to move on from him because it's just not working, and you have to trade whatever to go get somebody like the Rams did, those first-round picks are going to add up. You have to consistently bring in young talent to win in the NFL. And you got to be good drafting outside of the first and second rounds. And so far, I think Andrew Berry's been good at that, but it's not easy. It's not something that you can just count on every year to go find a star in the 6th round like you did with Donovan Peoples-Jones. It's not that easy. So I hate this. I hate that I have to have this discussion because if you know me, you know how much I believed in Baker. And I still believe in him to an extent. But prove it to me. That's really the point of this video. And again, to say that I would rather have Matt Corral or, Malik Willis than Baker, that to me, that just shows you to the point we've gotten here. And by the way, it's not going to be easy to get those guys. You're going to have to move up. You're going to have to give up stuff to get him. or either one. But I hate this. And I know either some people are going to be happy that I'm saying this, and then there's going to be some people who completely are upset and all that. I'm upset too. I cannot believe that this is where we're at and this is where we're going. And it's clear that this is where we're going. It is so visible that because of the injury, if he didn't get injured, I think it's a little bit different. But because of the severity and the fact that he's going to have a huge surgery the off season or this season, to me, this season is, I don't want to say it's over because it's not, but the clear thing is Joe Woods has got to be fired by the end of this year or in the offseason. They can't go into next year with Joe Woods as the DC. So that's a big thing. And the other big thing is Baker. And again, what I do, I would probably franchise him. I would probably draft a quarterback. I don't know. Andrew Berry's got a really, really hard job on his plate right now. And, it sucks, but this is where we're at. Sometimes you just got to come to terms with the situation and the reality. So, with that being said, let me know your thoughts. Is Baker the guy? I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. I don't know. I thought I did, but I don't know. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.